Prophet Lut alayhi salam, that they were wives of these prophets, right? They were with prophets of Allah and they were wives of them, but they went against their husbands, against the prophets, and they worked against them. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses them as an evil example. Okay. And in the next verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about one of the good examples. وَضَرَبَ اللَّهُ مَثَلًا لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا إِمْرَأَةَ فِرْعَوْنَ إِذْ قَالَتْ رَبِّ ابْنِ لِي عِنْدَكَ بَيْتًا فِي الْجَنَّةِ وَنَجِّنِي مِنْ فِرْعَوْنَ وَعَمَلِهِ وَنَجِّنِي مِنَ الْقَوْمِ الظَّالِمِينَ. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala strikes an example for those who believe. Who is the example? The wife of Fir'aun. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't bring the name of Lady Asiya. There's only one name of a woman mentioned in the Quran, which is Lady Maryam. So now Lady Asiya, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving an example for not just women. The example is for لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا, all believers, right? Men and women. She is an example for all of us. And when she said, oh my Lord, make for me a house in Jannah, indaka baytan fil Jannah. We talked about this, that she said this indak is said before baytan, meaning that what is important for Lady Asiya is not this house in Jannah. She doesn't want any house in Jannah. What is important for us is to be with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, near Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This qurb ilallah, this nearness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is what Lady Asiya is after. That, oh Allah, save me from Fir'aun and his action. I want to have nothing to do with Fir'aun and his action. I want this bara'ah from Fir'aun and his action. And this is a lesson for us as well. That she is teaching us that when there are fara'ina, when there are Fir'auns in our time, that we need to have bara'at from them. We want to have nothing from them, to do with them. Yes, we are in a land that is, close to some of these fara'ina. They're here, right? But in our hearts, we have to have this in it, that we want to have nothing to do with them. Oh Allah, don't raise us with these evil people. Don't raise us with these people of genocide. Don't raise us with these people of, the Epstein files. We want to have nothing to do with them. وَنَجِّنِي مِنَ الْقَوْمِ الظَّالِمِينَ, and save me from these evil people. Now, as we said, her entire life was spent in comfort. But when the time came, she supported the Waliullah. Okay. When the time came, she stood up alone against Fir'aun and his government. Right? So she didn't have any support behind her. And it's still difficult to stand up against the Zalimeen, but generally people have some kind of support. We think that we have other believers supporting us. There's other people who are there for us. Lady Asiya was all alone. There was nobody who was supporting her. And she still stood up against this government. And basically, she reveals her belief to Fir'aun. She questions his authority. And Fir'aun, says to her that, is it the case now that you have believed in Musa as well? And she says, yes, I have believed in him. And Fir'aun says that, you have gone crazy. And he gets her to be executed in a very, very, difficult manner. Basically, she's put on the ground, her hands and her feet are nailed to the ground, and she's put under the sun, and she's killed with a rock either on top of her, or it is, made to fall on her. Okay, so this is the difficulty that she went through. Now, when I read about this, that she stood up against these Zalimeen alone by herself, it took my mind to another lady who did the same thing, right, without any support. Okay, but that lady, unlike this lady, had the sadness of her brother being killed in front of her, had the sadness in her heart of her children being killed, Lady Zainab, alayhi salam, that she also stood up against the Zalim of the time, the Fir'aun of the time, by herself alone with no support, as a prisoner. Now, Lady Asiya, she was killed in a very painful way. Okay, and here, this is where she does this dua, right? We are told in one of the hadiths that when she is, on the ground and that rock is on her chest, and she's having a difficult time breathing, that it is that time that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reveals to her her place in Jannah, right? She gets to see that place with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Jannah, and she does dua for this. And it is in that manner that Allah takes her life. So now, she managed to preserve her iman in a lot of difficulties, right? And, basically, we don't have any excuse when we read about her, right? Yes, we are under a lot of difficulty here in preserving our iman as well. The environment is not, a very supportive environment to be religious in, okay? There is a lot of sin in this society. There are a lot of ideas in this society that are contrary to Islam, which if you're not careful of, they slowly enter our minds and hearts as well. But Lady Asya gives us courage, gives us hope that it can be done. That if we strive hard to protect ourselves, to protect our families, our children, that it is doable. That we can, inshallah, preserve our iman and our faith. We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He accepts our amal, He accepts our fasts, He accepts our worship, especially, this is the time for prayer, the last moments of the day of Friday. We are told that it is the time when our prayers are accepted, so we pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help purify ourselves, to give us, baytan indahu fil Jannah, a house with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Jannah, to raise us to high levels, and we pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to hasten the reappearance of our Imam. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.